Howdy, y'all. Welcome to another episode of CardBlitz. This is episode 48. I'm your host, Kelly Reed, joined by my good friend, my co-host, Patrick Marshall. Patrick, how's it going?
Kelly, how's it going? Happy Sunday to you.
Happy Sunday, man. It is a selection Sunday here in Texas. High school football, they're down to the semifinals next weekend.
Nice.
Don't know if you had a chance yesterday to watch a lot of the college championship games for the conferences.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much sports going on and a lot in the hobby. So yeah, man, where do you want to start?
Well, like just touching base on those games. I mean, that Indiana Ohio State game, I was surprised. I was like, wow,
Oh
okay.
yeah, man.
And it comes down to one guy who will probably win the Heisman. If he doesn't, there may be something wrong. But that Mendoza kid for Indiana is amazing. So,
The way you can read defenses and then
yeah,
you kind of find the weakness or the open target and
just
make
quick
passes.
decisions and the pass right on point. I'm like, okay, he wasn't very good in the first half, but then he turned it on in the second. It was pretty amazing.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they had some halftime adjustments, and it worked out in the favor of Indiana the first time ever.
Yeah.
So since 1945. Correction, since 1945, first time that they've won the Big Ten title since 45. Man, that is amazing.
And that's pretty amazing. That ties into a lot. There's a lot of Indiana to talk about today.
Well, also though, what about Duke pulling off the upset last night, the late
I, I
night game,
I
man?
did not see that coming, and so this is a happy place around here. Charlotte is buzzing today. So
And then out here in Texas, Big 12 championship was out over in at the Death Star in Arlington, and Texas
yeah,
Tech took care of BYU. You
okay,
know, I think they're getting their sports mixed up, man, because you're thinking like Texas Tech, Duke, Indiana. These are all basketball schools,
that's
man.
right, that's
Next
right.
thing you know, man, I mean, air raid offense for the Red Raiders coming out and doing their thing against, BYU. And like you said, man, Duke going crazy and pulling off the overtime win. Indiana making it happen.
It'd be
Crazy.
interesting to do a deep dive into what the AD director thinks about putting budget towards football compared to basketball. I mean, I'm sure it's not going to compare, but I bet there's some extra booster dollars thrown that way
Well,
and
with
things like
NIL
that.
deals going left and right now, it's no longer just up to the AD.
Right.
These athletes will go and no, they're going to go and sign their agreements and they're going to make their money. And hey, the story of the haves and have-nots sometimes kind of come to fruition. Texas Tech, they've got a lot of oil money and a lot of donors, as do
Yep.
lots of SEC schools. ACC, Duke, they're going to have their fair share of donors too.
But when you got teams like Vanderbilt who are in the top 20, top 25, like the last few years. I'm like, okay, things have changed. And that's football. you know, that's crazy.
Well, man, it is a selection Sunday, so we'll find out who's going to be making onto the playoffs soon. And in the world of baseball, it's
Yes.
also a selection Sunday. Are you aware of this?
No, I'm not. Fill
Yeah,
me in, Kelly.
we're gonna see if this guy can get selected into the Hall of Fame. You
Oh,
remember him?
nice. Yep. Oh, yeah. Don Mattingly. Nice.
Don Mattingly. Now, not my favorite player and not my favorite team, the Yankees, but I will give him his respect in the hobby. He's a stalwart, and when you showed me that 1984 Don Russ card, I'm like, man, I need to get one because that's a beautiful looking card, and I
Yeah.
can see why the hobby went crazy for it in '84. Man, that is an amazing card.
It's funny you say it because I'm putting together a set of 84 tops and it's mint. I mean, it's great. And I've just gone through a lot of things I have and I need to upgrade my 84 tops Don Mattingly to fit that set. So I need the 84 tops Mattingly and the 84 tops Nolan Ryan actually and
Oh,
mint. And then I'll have that set complete. So I'm pretty excited about that.
well,
So
yeah, man. And overall, they're not going to be too expensive. You're probably still
no,
going to spend $20 on both cards and, shipping thrown in there.
it's a super cool design though.
Oh,
I
yeah,
enjoy
84
that.
Tops is a classic design, but that 84 Don Russ design, that to me is even better looking
Yeah.
overall. I just,
And,
the
and
stars and stripes and, like I said, I wasn't really in the hobby in '84, being in high school. But dude, when you showed me those cards and went to that deep dive, I was like, that is a cool set.
yeah, and they were hard to get too. So that was made them even better. When you scored one of those, you're like, wow, I got it. Kids in the neighborhood were jealous. So,
Well, like I said, man, bust out the 1994 Upper Deck Collector's Choice for Mr. Don Mattingly, and then for this other guy for Selection Sunday. See if we can get him in the hall in Cooperstown. You remember him?
oh yeah, he was one of my favorite players growing up, just because of
Dude.
the availability of Ted Turner bringing the Atlanta Braves to Houston. Everybody could watch him.
There was a period there for about I don't know, 7, 8 years. Uh, Dale Murphy was the man,
Oh
and the
yeah,
fact that he's not in Cooperstown yet baffles me. It's some of the other players, you're like, hey, how'd they get in? Why? How did he not get in yet?
yeah,
To me, him and '80s baseball, much like Don Mattingly. I mean, they've got these great accomplishments, but they didn't hit like certain milestones, and so it's a sport where numbers mean a lot.
that's right.
We'll see if Selection Sunday brings to fruition, Mattingly and Murphy getting in.
Yeah, I think Murphy was an all-star for like 7 years in a row. I mean, you got to look at that kind of picture right there. I mean, that's
Yeah, and
pretty
he didn't have
amazing.
the longest career either,
Yeah,
Murphy, but that 7 or 8 year stretch, man, where he rocked it, man. And
yeah,
so, but when his body gave out, he was out.
yeah. That's pretty neat. I'm gonna do. You make me dig back into my Dale Murphy cards now and see if I can find my autograph of his, which is pretty cool.
Dude, that would be awesome. Find that for a little show and
Yeah,
tell action.
and that
And
kind of leads me to someone who already is a player that we all know and love from the same era, Mr. Tony Gwynn. I came across my little autograph, 86 Donruss of Tony Gwynn, which is
man,
pretty cool. So
was that through the mail or was that in person
this
or
was
how did you
in
get that one?
this was through the mail.
Oh,
So
all right.
I sent it through with my Beckett addresses back in the day, and sent this one and another one, the 84 tops, and got them both autographed. And sometimes it was pretty neat to put a little note in there and say, "Hey, thank you for your support," like a
Hmm.
little fan club letter. But he just signed it back and said thank you on a piece of paper. I wish I had the little piece of paper because that probably had his autograph on it as well. So
Hey, did you ever read that book by George F. Will called Men at Work? It's a baseball. It was like a '90s book.
mm-mm.
There's a
I,
chapter on
I, I know I know
Andy.
George Will. I know
Yeah,
that
well,
autograph. Yeah,
he did this interview and wrote up this chapter on Tony Gwynn. And
yeah,
I've got a hard copy of the book, man. Maybe next time you're in town, I'll hook you up with that book, or I'll mail it out to you.
yeah. Neat.
That is a great book, and Tony Gwynn talking about being able to see like the seams on the
Yeah,
baseball that's
oh, yeah,
rotating towards you. That made an impression, man. So
yeah,
he's always been one of my favorites too, man. And I'm gonna have to find my Tony Gwynn autographed card.
yeah. That's great. And then doing even more, like I'm looking around and I come across probably a future Hall of Famer one day. This Mike Trout jersey number card from 2022 tops. Pretty cool. I didn't
It's
even
an
know I
actual
had.
swatch of his jersey, or
Yeah, it's not a swatch of the jersey. They have a bunch of these that they came out with, but I saw this and I'm like, that's really cool. It's like you get the relic and swatch cards normally, and they don't
Mhm.
line up, or it's just a white piece of
Yeah,
cloth.
the napkin. They
Yeah, I
call
think
it
this was
the
more of a
table napkin.
uniform, mass-produced way of doing it, but I think this is pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty neat. I didn't even know I had that card. I was like, "Is that Mike Trout?" Okay, cool. I got to show that.
We talked
So
about Mike Trout before and his
I know.
numbers, and got some feedback from some other YouTubers, and they're like, Mike Trout's a lock.
Yeah, he's a
So,
lock. I totally agree with that. I mean, there hasn't been a player like that came on the scene with that much talent
well,
in
he's got
in
the
many
three
years.
MVPs,
Yeah,
and so that certainly sets him an upper echelon.
yeah,
But the question to me is, looking at the numbers, 500. Will
yeah,
Mike Trout hit 500 home runs before he hangs up his cleats and hat and says,
yeah,
"I'm out of here"?
yeah. Because there's got to be some wear and tear on his body, and obviously he can't stay healthy all the time. But the guy could come off your bench and probably hit 22 home runs a year.
Well,
So
the past season he eclipsed 400.
yeah, that's right.
Like if he can do 20 for the next 5 years, he hits his 500. But he'll isn't he like in his mid 30s?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, will he last till 39 or 40?
What happened is he came on the scene pretty young though, so that gave his numbers a big boost. So he's able to go through some of
And
these
he
injuries.
dominated.
Yeah,
He dominated as well for like 7, 8 years. So
yeah,
again, looking at Dale Murphy, Mattingly, Mike Trout. That's funny how you show that card and it kind of all
Yeah,
ties in, man.
it's interesting because he's one of those guys, and I just think I think those guys are. I mean, at watching them play back in the day when we were growing up, I mean, they were just the cream of the crop. I mean, Mattingly was a hitting machine. I mean, he was flirting around with Dave Winfield for the batting title. They have an
You're
'86 Donruss
battling
card.
it, battling. Several
Yeah,
times I remember that in the summers, man, reading about him.
yeah, pretty cool. So
Hey, man. Well,
great.
let's get into this birthday boy.
Sure. I mean, today is a big day. So for all our basketball fans out there, the one and only, the Hick from French Lick, Mr. Larry Bird turned 69 today. So I got the Skybox card. I've actually got this whole set. It's not, it's pretty cool, but the man himself, like Larry Bird, wow. I mean, his career is amazing. I mean, he played 14 seasons. He averaged like 24 and a half points, 10 rebounds, 6.5 assists. But he's the only player in NBA history, which I thought this was really interesting. I did not know this, to win Rookie of the Year in 1980, MVP. He did it 3 times: 84, 85, and 86, 3 years in a row, which is impressive. Finals MVP, 84 and 86. All-Star MVP, 82 and in 1982. And then Coach of the Year, which a lot of people don't know, for the Pacers in '98, and then Executive of the Year in 2012. No other player in NBA history has ever done those things, and it's just amazing. I mean,
Well, that and Larry Bird had a certain confidence, a certain swag where
yeah.
you, I heard was it about him making his 3-pointer at the All-Star game. He's like, all right, well, what are you guys gonna do now during
Yeah.
warm-ups or something like
Oh,
that?
and let's don't forget he was an NBA champion 3 times as well. Just 81, 84, and 86, which 86 stings a lot because that was against the Rockets, and I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah. Well, old Larry Legend though, man, he is certainly a legend and cerebral, man, to be like Coach of the Year and to be an Executive of the Year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the pride of Indiana State
Yeah.
University, you know.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Indiana State because I also have this card, which is a Kellogg's. I have some oddball stuff. The Kellogg's Raisin Bran insert card of Larry Bird. And if you look on the back, it has his career stats in collegiate for Indiana State. And so that kind of that got me interesting. I'm like, well, let's look up this Indiana State team. I remember them being great and going to the finals. I didn't realize that in 1978, the Celtics drafted Larry Bird. He decided he wanted to go back to Indiana State for another year. So for the 78-79 season, they went undefeated and they went to the national championship. And he put this small little school on the map, and they lost against a powerhouse of Michigan State, led by one only Magic Johnson. And that game
That's
pretty
of his
much started.
rivalry.
It started the rivalry between. I mean, you can't script. That's like a movie. It's great. So
Yeah.
I was impressed. I totally forgot that it was Magic Johnson that took them down because obviously I was young. I wasn't watching NCAA finals or the NCAA tournament then,
Hmm.
and I thought it was pretty interesting to hear that.
Dude.
So and to read. So pretty
And then
cool.
yeah, they have the storied career of both athletes and how they met in the
Yeah.
finals and that rivalry between those two franchises, Celtics and Lakers,
Yeah.
about the 82,
Absolutely.
man.
Yeah. I think it's rewritten the way that NBA basketball is now. I mean, you think of those. You think of the Celtics. You think of the Lakers. I mean, and it kind of like that's like the cream of the crop when I was growing up. That was the 2 levels.
Yeah.
So pretty neat.
Well, I was gonna say, man, I've got an old school and a new school card of Mr. Bird. Here's a new school.
Nice.
This was one of those value box pickups that Uncle Rich likes to talk about.
Yeah, cool, man. I like
Is
those.
the Hall of Fame. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it talks about like he got drafted number 6 overall in that draft when he finally did go to the Celtics.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then here's the old school from the late 80s.
There you go.
1989 Fleer.
Nice. Do we know, Kelly? Do we who was drafted? I think was Magic drafted number 1 in that draft.
Probably. I can't verify right
Yeah,
now.
but that would have been
Not
that
off
would
the
have been
top of
some
my
good.
head.
Yeah, that would have been some good little trivia. I didn't go down that path, but if he was number
Hey, neither did
6, it's
I.
pretty amazing. 6. There was five players better than him, or in
Or
my
the fact that he
opinion.
stayed out a season
Yeah,
and and so maybe there were rumors. I don't know. I'd have to really read into the history of
yeah.
Larry Bird and that draft from that year.
We could have our viewers do some research. That's your homework.
The
Yeah,
smarter viewers than us.
yeah.
But one interesting stat on the back of this though is that you see, can you read where it says his free throw percentage?
Yes, yeah.
Uh, last time I checked,
Amazing.
pretty good, man.
He was a lock. I mean, the guy could shoot, and he's 6'9" power forward, and he pulls up.
95% free throws, like
Yeah,
money.
he pulls up and drains them. He pulls up and drains the jumper rather than drive into the hoop. So
Yeah, cerebral, man, thinking
yeah,
ahead, man.
yeah,
Well, let's get into some of these hot topic items you wanted to get into. You were talking about like traveling, and it's the season. Thanksgiving just happened. Christmas is coming up,
yeah.
so there's a lot of folks on the road, right?
Yeah, what's interesting is I've done this before where I used to live in Dallas. Obviously, Kelly and I were, lived in the same town before I moved to Charlotte, and we would take road trips from Dallas to Charlotte every year for about 3 years in a row. And one year I decided to look up, and I thought this would be a pretty neat idea, look up my local card shop here in Charlotte along the way. And when we got here, I didn't really have much time to go visit, but it kind of spurred something in me and made me think, that would be a pretty cool thing if you were traveling with your family or going to visit friends and family. You should check out your local card shop. It'd be kind of neat to see what people value in different parts of the country as opposed to like what was in Dallas, obviously Cowboys and Rangers and even Nolan Ryan. I mean, if you went to like Charlotte and tried to find Nolan Ryan cards, you probably could find some maybe unusual oddball stuff that a lot of collectors aren't interested in, maybe on the East Coast as opposed to Central Texas or I think it's pretty neat. I mean, that's pretty cool.
So when you and your family were moving out to Charlotte back in was it like 2010, 2012,
2013, yeah,
2013,
yep,
do you so are you saying like but prior to that you were taking these road trips?
yeah.
Did
Before
you
that,
ever stop off in any other towns on the way out there and the way back? Like,
yeah,
hey, maybe cut through Tennessee or Arkansas or Louisiana, like depending on the path, the track
I
you
would
took.
have
Like,
loved to, but guess what? When I do that now, if I travel with my kids and take a road trip somewhere, I'm gonna do that. I
oh,
didn't I
okay.
didn't do it before, but it's definitely on my plan of things. And what kind of spurred this is my father-in-law would travel from Charlotte to Florida all the time, and he decided that he was going to look up a Florida card shop. Went in there and saw some cards he likes. He's trying to put together some old sets, so he was interested to see maybe if they had some 59 tops of baseball or 60 tops. But what he also did, he took it a step farther, which is I'd like to do this as well, is he looked in the local paper and like went online to Craigslist and looked up and found a gentleman who was selling cards on Craigslist, and he went ahead and met him there in Florida at Fort Myers Beach and bought and made a deal and bought him and brought him back to Charlotte, so, which is pretty neat.
Yeah,
So
do people still use Craigslist? That
he's an old school
like
he's an old school guy, but it kind of gives you the idea. You could find him on, you're not going to find anybody in the paper anymore. So
right.
if you go
Everything's
online,
digital, electronic, so no more hard copy papers.
what
But
I would think that Craigslist is probably more popular in a place like Florida because of a lot of retirees. I could be off on this statement, but maybe they're a little bit older and they think it's a
that's a
worthy thing to
medium.
post.
But yeah,
Yeah,
buying and selling. But you mentioned the like Craigslist, and so for me here in Dallas, I'll look on like Facebook
yeah,
Marketplace, and I
yeah.
know that dates me because like Kelly, no one does Facebook, but I still do. So old people like me doing Facebook, and I don't very rarely do I see any kind of like deals or anything that I find worth buying. It's always overpriced or it's just junk, and I'm like,
Yeah.
but you mentioned like the going on road trips or going places, and so as you know, this past summer I went to Taiwan for to visit my wife's family,
Yes.
and so I went to a card shop in the in the city that she's from.
And that's pretty neat.
Oh,
That's
it was very different from here in the States here in Dallas.
yeah.
Uh, that it's all about the high end collectibles there, and it's all modern.
Okay.
So to them. to the locals in the city of Tainan. The idea of like building sets aren't aren't really a thing. Player runs, yes, maybe
Okay.
team sets, few and far between, but they're there. But the idea of like, hey, I'm going to collect and have like binders and binders of cards or boxes and boxes of sets from like whatever era when they started collecting. That's not really a thing. So it's
Yeah.
all about like getting product, ripping wax, finding the hot cards, flipping them, selling them, trading them,
Okay.
maybe some PC them. But
Yep.
so the marketplace in Taiwan's different than here in Dallas.
Yeah.
But
It's pretty interesting. Yeah. I
you
like
got to
to
be
hear
thinking
about
though,
that.
man, because like this summer, this upcoming summer in 2026, we're gonna take family vacations,
Yep.
and so yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, that would be kind of cool to stop off and visit different card shops and kind of get a taste of the local flavor, the cuisine there, and see what's popular and what inventory, and it'll be interesting.
Yeah, and I challenge people, to do that. I mean, it's pretty neat. I mean, especially if you're looking and you are a set builder or you do like player runs. I mean, go take a moment if you can get away. That is, that's always the key.
Well, yeah,
So,
man, I was gonna say, like for CardBlitz viewers, definitely,
yeah,
let us know your thoughts in the comments when you take road trips, if time permits.
yeah.
Or do you intentionally plan stopping by the LCS? And is the family cool with that? Or, if you're single doing your own thing, is that something that's like a priority for you since it's a hobby, going and visiting different card shops in different
And
areas?
what would be kind of neat too is going to these small gas stations in the middle. Maybe in the off the beaten path in the middle of nowhere that are close to a main interstate where they have distribution. But I would go in there and poke around and see if they have any cards. Maybe you'll find 3-year-old cards. Maybe you'll find some 2022 tops football or tops baseball sitting on their shelves and
Or the
just
folks
ask.
that are talking about like flea market finds and stuff
Yeah,
like
that's
that's
right.
something I don't do flea markets. So yeah, or garage sales, but yeah, when you're on the road, just seeing what's out there. That's interesting.
Yeah, I read a story the other day, like somebody at a flea market. One of the it was on one of those social media stories, and I read it, and that somebody picked up like 50 1975 tops cards, just kind of common, some semi stars for like $20 at a flea market. I'm like, that's for someone who collects that set and is always trying to constantly upgrade whatever cards I have. It's like I would have been ecstatic to find that. And
And see if you can upgrade a few of those cards, and then
yeah, just to
what
see
would
that they
what would
have
you do
it.
with the remainders? Trade bait, or would you try to sell them, or
So I've done a lot before. I maybe get up to like 100 cards of very good to excellent, and maybe put them on eBay or something like that, and take whatever that I can get from that, and maybe upgrade a star or a rookie card that's $20 or $30. Take that
Mhm.
money towards that. That's my first move. I haven't really thought about doing a second set. That's a little bit more time consuming than what I'm doing right now.
Mhm.
But I would consider that because I just think those old early '70s, mid '70s commons that we used to overlook and just kind of flip around and do nothing with. I think those are just going to be harder and harder to get. So
Well,
uh,
speaking of 1970s, I did
yeah,
acquire a 1970 baseball set, but it's short two cards.
okay,
I've got to get the for baseball 1970 baseball. And the set's probably very good to excellent.
okay,
It was pretty affordable
which
because
is
it's
not
very
bad.
good, excellent. It's not near mint, and for me, I'm fine with that. But it's missing the Nolan Ryan, and it's missing the Catfish Hunter card.
But you have a good base, Kelly. So you can, like, if you come across some of the commons like that, you'll start doing what I've been doing, and you'll kind of be upgrading some certain things as you come across them of your '70s tops baseball. And I bet if you go to a card show and you'll see people with binders, some of the older guys with binders of commons for sale, you can probably strike a deal. I mean, that's what we've done before as well. So
Interesting. Yeah,
um,
I know. Like I said, Catfish Hunter, Nolan Ryan. I know because it's a binder set.
yeah.
I'm probably gonna get like a reprint, 1999 reprint of Nolan Ryan, 1970 Topps baseball
Oh,
card. They're
really?
in there, but then probably buy a graded,
Okay.
Nolan Ryan card just to say, hey, this is part of the complete set. Maybe
Yeah.
probably a collector's grade, like a PSA or a SGC 3 or 4, maybe a 5, if I feel like it's the value is there. But yeah,
Yeah,
nothing horribly shabby, poor condition, but not looking to spend 700, 800 bucks on a card either, just
correct.
a couple
Yeah.
$100 maybe just to say, hey, I've got a nice Nolan Ryan 1970 Topps baseball card.
Yeah, maybe we can get into that another, another show is like, you have a very good to excellent set, but then you have a PSA or SGC 8 or 9. Is that going to make your value of your set just because of that one card and all the other cards better than a collector grade of a 4 or 5 and that very good to excellent? I don't know. That'd be interesting to know.
Yeah, well, see what
So,
the viewers think as well.
yeah.
CardBlitz Nation, let us know your thoughts on that. Is that something that's worth pursuing? Is the investment grade star card worth it, or just get the collector's grade card?
Yeah. To complete your set. Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
So,
man. Well, let's talk a little bit about this 2025, 26 Topps
yeah.
basketball story. You were like, "Hey, man, did you read this?" I'm like, "No, I didn't even know about it." So,
Yeah, I came
all
across
you.
this, and so apparently this year, and they may have done this in the past, but I was not aware of it. But Target released a 2025-2026 NBA basketball retail display box, and they were exclusive only at Target, and they came out on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving for shopping and for retail. And apparently, when they first came out, after the first few days, they weren't selling that well, so they pulled the unlimited hold on how many you could buy at Target. And so I'm just going through and I'm reading my
Oh,
news.
typically, what is it?
Yeah,
Limited two, right?
I think it's that's a good question
I
too.
think
Or
it's two because before I went back to Taiwan, a couple of my nephews wanted some boxes, and it said like limit 2 boxes per customer.
yeah,
So
okay.
I think that was it. And so yeah, so Target's got all this inventory, and then what happens, man?
And so somebody apparently went in and purchased 400 boxes for $15,000. They went ahead and bought the whole end cap of these retail boxes. And I don't know how our viewers think about scalpers. I'm kind of like hit or miss on that. I mean, I don't think that the word scalping, it reminds me of buying and reselling tickets back in the day for,
From the 80s,
Fast Times
front
Regional.
row, man. We got front
Hey,
row
Mike,
tickets, dude.
come on. You got any tickets? Earth, Wind, and Fire? Right here, man. You know,
What's that?
that's right.
Got
But you,
two.
but
Cheap
but
tricks
I think
opening.
I also think sometimes when you get a good deal, you want to take advantage of it. Now I'm not sure how many people have $15,000 sitting around in a checking account or on a credit card that they can just go one time buy at Target for 400 boxes.
I wonder what is the big hit on a
Yeah, though I'm going to
retail.
get into that. So I did
Okay.
dug a little deeper. Obviously you've got your base rookie cards at Cooper Flag, Dylan Harper, VJ Edgecombe, but apparently in this hobby box, in not the hobby box, sorry, in this Black Friday retail box, there was only certain cards that you can get from these boxes. Now they come with colored parallels, your red, green, and blue. There's a limited relics run of Rippers and store exclusive, so a Target exclusive relic card, which is pretty neat. There's retail rush autos, so you can get autographs in these.
Okay, there are autographs.
Yeah, so I didn't know that that was even possible, but apparently they're an
Target
autograph that's
exclusive.
only available in the Black Friday retail box. And then
Okay.
there's blackout cards, which are a variation of the parallels, and then there's Opti-Chrome. I'm not quite sure what those look like, the Opti-Chrome, but
Yeah, we know
so
what Chrome looks like. What does
yeah, but
Opti Chrome look
I
like?
know, but it's driven a lot of interest because it's made them, they retailed for $34.99. You get 11 packs of 12 cards, 132 cards. You work out the math; it's like 28 cents a card that you're getting them for, but you have a chance to pull some of these parallels that are only available in this particular Black Friday retail box. So that's kind of driven up a lot of the interest because people are going crazy over trying to collect some of these limited cards, which is basically what the industry's become, anyways. I mean, you have certain parallels and inserts and autographs, and it's you pull one of those Cooper Flag
Right.
parallel 1 out of 5, autos or something like that. I mean, it's going to be $1,000. I mean, it's expensive.
Hmm.
So I looked online to see, okay, are the prices been driven up? I mean, is a $35 box now $100? I mean, what are these scalpers making?
It's been a week, right?
It's been
Or
it's been
did they drop to $20 a box?
no, it's they're still selling at like $65 to $70 a box on eBay, like online. So I think that's a pretty good gauge. But I think people are actually pulling some pretty good items out of these boxes. So maybe that investment is better than saying buying a hobby box, which says there's an autograph guaranteed, but it's not guaranteed, and it costs $200 for the box. So
Well,
um,
I know on my end, I was looking just, I got an alert in the email saying, hey, by the way, Topps Chrome basketball's available. So I looked online to see how much it was going for. This was like the email came out at like 11:05 Central Time,
okay,
like last week or the week before. And I remember jumping online during my lunch break, and apparently it said like all the hobby boxes were sold out, all the jumbo boxes were sold out. They had retail packs available, and but the hobby and the jumbo are the ones with the autographs.
yeah, okay,
So, but the fact that this retail exclusive has autographs, that's going to be your main draw.
yeah.
That people want the autographs. Sure, you got some, like I said, insert collectors, PC collectors that will go for some of those special limited inserts. But other than that, what are they going to do with all these base cards?
Yeah, I'd be interested to know if can Topps react fast enough to market conditions where because the Black Friday retail box was successful and it's created a stir and it's made this 2025 2026 Topps NBA set, it's sought after. People are looking for these rookie cards and they're looking for these inserts. Can they react fast enough to maybe come up with a Topps Chrome holiday set that gets released the week of Christmas or something like that. You
Right.
know,
Time will tell on that one because we're in the season, man.
yeah,
But
it's kind of interesting to think
uh,
that way. Do they have to plan that ahead of time with their marketing gurus? I
well,
mean, how
also
does
this is Topps, with the exclusive license.
Yep,
And Panini's bowing out. So you got collectors that are going to say, hey, this is the comeback set or comeback box, and this is why we need to hold on to it. And
yeah.
again, for flag fans, as well as some of the other high picks, folks want those autographs too.
Well, I mean, Topps is smart by using the outlet of mass retail. Target, Walmart. I mean, these are huge big box stores where thousands of people and foot traffic come in. I think it's smart. I mean, obviously you don't want too many to be produced, but if you're making it available where you can get some of these inserts and parallels, the problem is I think we're getting way too many of them. In my view, this is just my personal view. Have just 5 runs of 5 different types of inserts. Parallels, relics. What you have, but now we're starting to get to like 15 or 20 different
Oh
things.
yeah, man.
I mean, it's getting out of
There's more
control.
than a
Like
rainbow. There's there in between.
yeah,
So
I'm telling you. I mean, it's going to be. Hopefully they'll pull back on it and they do some focus groups and go, okay, that was successful, that was great for the 2026-27. Here's what we're going to do. Let's improve on this. Let's charge a little bit more, make it a little bit more scarce. I mean, I think people would still pay for
Well,
it. So
Fanatics and Tops, they like to make this stuff called money and be
yeah,
profitable. So if some guy's dropping 15 grand on an end cap of product,
yeah,
this doesn't include everything that they sold online prior to, as well as this Tops Chrome run after, and then I'm sure they're going to have Finest and whatever other products. They're just printing money at this point, and like you said, man, the only way we as collectors, as hobbyists, can respond is by not spending your money on that product.
yeah.
That's the only way to send a message. But, again, collectors might be a small voice, a minority of the bigger picture. And if you're fanatics, tops, what do you care? You got to be profitable. You got to provide for your
Yeah.
families.
Well, Kelly, let's dive into it. So,
We'll,
I took
we'll have to
about
dive into it in
yeah.
another episode because
Well, I know, but let's just talk about something real quick. This is interesting. You said, but the making money aspect. So 132 cards, retail box is, like $37, $38 with tax. So it's about 28 cents a card. How many cards is Topps printing on this particular set, do you think?
probably a good, probably a good 700,000 to a million, maybe 1.5 million, maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking higher. I was thinking higher than that. But
Maybe again, it's
yeah,
not like these card companies release their print runs and they're not
Right.
audited by anybody. So
Yeah.
you can only kind of guesstimate. But yeah, let's just say 2 million.
Yep. So you're 2 million. I mean, you're talking quite a bit of cash just on one retail box as one product offering of the same set, just
Yeah, but they got
repackaged.
to pay for those autographs and those athletes. And then,
Correct. Yeah.
we know corporate America, folks in the upper positions, they got to get their bonuses too. So, and I'm
Yeah.
sure we're winning friends by talking about this.
No, no. I mean, I think it's
But
interesting
we're
though.
addressing the issue. So,
Yeah, it's interesting because that this is kind of what you can see a pattern, and it's been going this way for a while. And now you've got Topps with the exclusive rights to it. I mean, they can pretty much hold a monopoly on how they do things. So you're right. It comes down to
I'm
the
sure in 2026, this will be an episode in itself.
yeah.
Uh,
Let's do it.
is it?
I want to get into it more. It's kind of cool. So
Well,
because
man,
it's going to feed my next generation, which are my kids. How are they going to look at cards and how are they going to purchase them? Our stories are going to be different, but it's going to be the same type of passion, though, I think. So,
let's get into the trivia for episode 48 here because we got about a minute.
okay, sure.
Okay, man. Going back to our man, Larry Legend. Uh, him and his Indiana State University days. He gets drafted. He makes the All-Star game as a rookie. How many NBA All-Star games did he qualify for? Was he selected for? Was it 9, 10, 11, or 12?
12.
You're saying 12.
Yep,
And that's your final answer.
that's my final answer.
If you said 12, you, like 57.3% of America, are correct.
Yeah.
He only
He,
missed one.
that's amazing. Isn't that? I mean, wow. He just they don't make guys like that anymore. So,
Apparently, the 1989 season was the cursed season. He did not make the All-Star game.
oh, gotcha.
Otherwise, he made the rest. And, I'd have to do some research, but maybe he was injured that year. Who knows, man? So,
Yeah, never know. So that's great.
man, episode 48 of Card Blitz has been packed, interesting, fun-filled. We've learned a lot, shared a lot. Hey, you got any thoughts as we wrap up?
No, just looking forward to obviously we got the holidays coming up, and hope everyone stays safe out there and has a great holiday season. But we got a lot to talk about on next episode as well. So I'm excited.
Well, definitely, man. Look forward to doing that. Our next episode, Card Blitz fans, certainly appreciate you watching, giving us the big thumbs up, sharing with your friends, and we'll catch y'all on the next episode.
Sounds good, Kelly. Have a good Sunday. See you, man.
Happy Football Sunday, Patrick. Catch you later.